All right, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fantastic Tuesday morning? So, Bitcoin looked really, really good yesterday, didn't it? Very first day of the week, Bitcoin exploding to the upside, everything looking really good and sharp. And then it goes up and tests the midpoint of Q3 and turns around on a dime right there. Boink. It's going to be your quarter three midpoint. This is the last day. Tomorrow will be the last day. So today is it. Tomorrow is Q4. So this is the last day of the month. Tomorrow will be opening up to a brand new quarter, the last quarter of the year. Bitcoin rejecting Q3's midpoint. That's not really what we want to see. We would love to see Bitcoin be closing above that price. That would be better than closing under it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that Q4 won't be bullish. It's just always better when candles close on strength, not weakness. But anyway, that's where we're rejecting right now. We did get all the way well above the 786 of last week's range. We were actually wanting to see if it would roll over at the 618. It did not. It pushed deep. Basically, what we did is we liquidated last week's short. So if you can remember, last week we got short here on Bitty Boy. We rode it all the way down almost to the September open. It did not test the September open. It basically traded sideways down here. This is the weekly 21 exponential moving average. Typically is a good place to be a buyer in a bullish market, right? Last time we tested it, you got a bullish reaction. This time we tested it, you got a bullish reaction, but it wasn't as big as that bullish reaction. So it does look like the buyers are losing momentum here. So yeah, today still looks okay. You're currently testing the daily 21 exponential moving average as support. So this is where we want to see support hold today on Bitcoin. So basically what I'm going to be doing on Bitcoin today is I'm going to be watching this swing low. If price can get down there and reject, meaning if we go down here and then we quit going down, right? If it rejects lower prices beyond this point, then I want to be a buyer on the Bitty Boy. I'm currently sitting in a very weird position. This thing popped up on the scanner today as it was up nicely up here. I was trying to get short up here, but I had to go make coffee. So I ended up coming back and the move happened. So I shorted it here. Essentially all I was looking at is the last range. Here's the 4-hour chart. You can see it's seller exhaustion. Whenever you have a big spike like this, you don't want to necessarily look at it as aggressive buyers. You typically want to look at these big spikes as just your aggressive sellers closing position. It's also known as a dead cat bounce in the industry. You know what I mean? Whenever you see a bounce from the lows, it usually is shorts closing their positions. Doesn't mean they're bullish. It just means they've extracted all the juice out of that lemon and they want to get out of that position, maybe use that equity somewhere else to open new positions. So we got a dead cat bounce here, and then the buyers just basically, well, nothing really. I mean, nobody's really buying it. Let's go look at this chart. That chart's wrong. So, not wrong, but it's the wrong chart. Okay, so here you go. Clean, smooth downtrend, heavy selling to initiate the move, and then once the move got going, they just slowly stopped, I guess. Anyways, you can see that there's not as much selling as there was to get the move started here. So I'm not looking for a huge breakdown, but obviously I can't buy something like this as long as it's trading below the previous 4-hour candle's low. I want to be holding shorts. Since my entry is up here, I'm okay with shorts down here. Obviously, if we get a spike, because we're not seeing, even though you're seeing the trend confirmed with delta, cumulative volume delta, you're not seeing it trend. All right, you're not seeing that trend, so that could literally mean that the asks are getting absorbed. So that just That means there's a very good chance that I can get spiked out of this short. So I don't want to make my stop loss super wide. I want to mitigate the risk that if it doesn't do what I want it to do and it doesn't do it pretty quickly, then fine, I'll just get out with a break-even trade. I definitely don't want to lose any money on it, right? Because it's not trending. You can see they had a nice trending move here, but then it immediately just went sideways. This is dangerous price action. Very dangerous. Because retail is selling it. Retail always sells highs. That's what they always do. So they're trying to sell this. So we have to be careful when we take the same side as retail. Obviously, I'm retail, right? So I don't mean anything negative by that. I just mean usually we want to be on the opposite side of retail. But in this scenario, I definitely don't want to be a buyer of this piece of garbage. So I'm short this, and we're looking at Fartcoin because there could be a long here. Now, I don't know if it's going to be today or when, but we are seeing some, the aggressive selling has waned, which is good news. At least you don't have aggressive selling, but we're not seeing those buyers kick up yet. However, you're bottoming out down here. This is the low for now. This was the low back over here. So you made fresh monthly low after fresh monthly low after fresh monthly low. So for the month of September, you're a downtrend. But we're getting ready to, today's the last day of the month. So I want to see what happens today. If we don't see aggressive or heavy selling today, I will be looking to buy Fartcoin just to see if I can get a Q4 pop. All right, just to see if the heavy sellers are done with this. If we're going to see like weak markets going on into the end of the year, which a lot of people are going to be looking for. They're looking for Bitcoin to be bearish for Q4 because of the 4-year market cycle and other reasons. So I kind of want to be long Bitcoin, not short. Because we haven't seen anything on the macro change. And the market's, been slowly bullish. You can go look up top here real quick. You did get a spike in the VIX last week. It did trade up into the yearly opening range, and it did reject. Right where we expected it to reject, it did reject. Now, Friday was a really nice rejection and a decent up day, but nothing really came out of that on Bitcoin or the S&P 500, really. But you are an elevated VIX today. So, I like that breakdown move, but I don't like the fact that we're right back up there today. So we could be getting ready to break out, right? Because here's your rejection. 3 days, you rejected the yearly opening range. 1, 2, 3. Then you got a nice rejection. Boom. So that's rejection confirmed. And then boom, boom. What? No, I don't like that. Whenever that happens, I have to raise one eye up like the Rock. Because I'm like, wait a minute. We should be seeing continuation, not this aggressive bounce back. So as long as we're under the yellow line, the yearly open, I have a bearish bias on the VIX. If we're above it, then I want to be looking for shorts on my intraday scalps. All right. So that's kind of what we're working with today. A whole lot of big fat nothing. Here's what we got on the watch list. For altcoins that are moving, we have nada. I mean, don't get me wrong. Something up 52% from a 24-hour change is really, really good. Right? It means it's very bullish, but there's only 40,000 tokens traded on this asset in the last 24 hours. Very, very thinly traded. Very thinly traded. So we're not entering that. This is another one that's up nicely, but also very, very thinly traded. Not as thin as that one, though, but still thin. And the top 3, all of them, less than 500,000 tokens. I want to trade those millies, the ones that's trading at least millions of tokens, because that means liquidity is okay, right? It's better. When you trade stuff like this, you can get slipped. You can lose a lot more money than you want. You got to be very careful. Now, that B trade that I'm in right now, this was up here. It was actually up in here somewhere. It's like the top 4 or 5. The reason I took it is because it was the biggest one with the most volume. It's just 1 million. Oh, very thin. Very thin. There's just not a lot to work with here, guys. Not a lot to work with. Yeah, not a lot to work with. So damn it. I don't want to necessarily be a buyer at this, because this candle would be considered support. That's your lowest 4-hour close. So it is definitely a level to watch. But I would rather see Bitcoin make a fresh daily low and then reject that. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen, but you could just see it run away from here. Now, here's your weekly VWAP on Bitcoin. So that, as of right now, as long as we're trading under that does mean that price is weak. You want to see price staying above that throughout the week, as it lets you know that the buyers are in control of the weekly range. So, but it's good that it's just right here and not like way above us, right? So as long as we're not trading below here, I have a bullish bias for today. My day trade. A little bit slow this morning as I'm just now getting coffee in my body. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So we'll probably be trading the big boy Bitcoin King coin today, because there really isn't anything popping off on alts. Now, as far as our shit coins that we watch, Farcoin, Book of Meme, Bonk, all of those, they're basically down on the day. Let me get Bonk pulled up here. Let me get rid of this. Bye-bye. All right. And then we want Bonk. Bonk's down 3%. Fartcoin's down 5%. Almost 5%. It was down almost 5% a little bit earlier. But Bonk looks worse than Fartcoin. But Fartcoin's actually the worst. It's down massively on the month. So yeah, that's where we are right now. Yeah, doesn't look great. Oh, there's August's low. Just bear with me. Listen to the music, enjoy the day. Not really a whole lot to do. As soon as Bitcoin gives me an opportunity for an entry, I'll take it. If you have a sell side bias, like if you think that it's going to go down, you can short it, obviously. The short would be here. Right? Up there. I guess if you spent a lot of time rejecting this area right here, you could also short it, because it is the VWAP. It's not an objective price point, but it is the VWAP. I wouldn't necessarily want to take that short, but it could work. Yeah, the 30-minute 100's down here, so I do kind of still like it to the upside as long as that is the case. Trying to find a good entry. I mean, intraday support is higher. It's right at that daily 21. I hate taking entries based off of moving averages. We'll let the market open and see if we get that run lower. If we do, then I'm not gonna buy it right off the bat. I'm gonna wait to see if it gives us a rejection. I want to see what the VIX does on the open. Right now, the S&P 500 is currently testing the day open. Your futures, right here, bottom right. You can see your day open is there. Monday's midpoint held as resistance pretty much all night. And one last thing to look at. Your Japanese yen is going up. Going up. So that could be bad news. The reason is because the VIX is up also and your yen is up. I don't like to be a buyer when that's happening on risk assets. I'd rather be a seller. So technical analysis is telling me that I want to be a buyer on Bitcoin today. But the VIX and the Japanese yen are kind of signaling that might not want to be. You know what I mean? So it's a very mixed day. It's going to be difficult to get a position based on that info. And then gold is even experiencing a little bit of a down or a pullback intraday here, or pre-market. GLD pulling back a little bit. And for those of you wondering if I'm still in the oil position or not, because we did short oil on Friday. No, I closed it at the end of the day like a dumbass. I closed it because the reason oil was spiking hard is the dollar was spiking hard, but there was news, or there was rumors of Russia saying that the EU has declared war upon them. I mean, they've been flying drones and jets in EU airspace, and anytime you do that, you will get shot down usually, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a country claiming war on you. If you're the one encroaching upon their borders without permission, then obviously it's you who are in the wrong. But no, I don't think any pilots got shot down or anything, just drones. So that's why oil was spiking. So we took the short, but that news was kind of heating up as the day went on, and I didn't want to hold the oil long over the weekend just in case shit hit the fan. Now, I am an optimist. I am not a pessimist. So I typically have a very optimistic way of looking at things. So I should have held the short. But anyway, we shorted it up here. We shorted it up there. We shorted it up there because of this liquidation and because of the 200 exponential. We went ahead and took the short. So I made money on the trade, obviously, because when I closed it at the end of the day. But if I would have held it, it would have paid out a lot more, as you just crushed it yesterday. So, yeah, that's oil. I don't think Russia and the EU are going to go to war, but that's an optimistic take. A pessimistic take would have been, it's time to get long oil because they are going to war. But yeah, I hate when that happens, but at the same time, if I wouldn't have closed it, oil would have gapped up to $76. That's just the way I have to look at it, right? It would have happened if I would have kept that trade open. It would have gapped up. It only went down because I closed it. That's the way I have to look at it. So yeah, that's that. But if you're holding oil shorts from 65.70, hold them. I don't see any reason to close it. It looks really, really good down here. Obviously, you would much rather see it below August's low, but you don't have that much further to go to get there. Now, clearly, August's low has been holding support all month. So it is support. It's support until price breaks it. That's typically how we approach the markets. I mean, you can see that it has been holding, but it could break any moment. We don't know when or if it will break. So I wouldn't take new shorts here, right? I wouldn't be opening a fresh short position down here. Up here was the best place to take the short on oil. But I wouldn't be buying this. There's nothing to do on oil. The trade was Friday to get short, and that's it. That was the trade. So we'll see what it does moving on, but yeah, it kind of sucks because that's a nice move. But back over here to Bitcoin. As long as we're trading above Q2's high, I like that. If we reject this level, then I'm going to have more of a bearish bias going into next quarter. But at the beginning of the quarter, I typically want to be positioning for my longer term bias. And my longer term bias is bullish. Even though the VIX is up and the yen is up, that's just today. Longer term, like if I go look at the long charts, the long term trend is up. There's no doubt about it. You are even up on the month in September. Clearly, you're up on the year. You're up on the 5-year. Whatever time frame you look at, greater than a month on Bitcoin, this chart is bullish, objectively speaking. So I want to look for those positions because I want to see that trend continue. Now, we don't know if the trend will continue, but I like it to continue. Now, the problem with that is we are closer to breaking the trend to the downside than we are closer to breaking the trend to the upside. So there's the bell. Basically, I'm just saying we're closer to August's lows than we are August's highs. So it does make sense that people are kind of looking for shorts. So yeah, that's what we got right now. But let's see if we can get a push lower and then a bid off that push. Dominance is kind of up today. Yeah, the dominance chart it's trying to put in a bottom, it looks like, kind of. That might not be good for alts. Here's your bottoming formation as your low isn't a significant low. So, is it putting in a bottoming formation? It is. It's an inverse head and shoulders. It's a low. It doesn't mean it's going to continue, but it does look like it is trying to build in at least a near-term low here. You are above last month's low. And as long as you're above last month's low, you're pulling back. You're in a bounce. Bouncing. So that could be, bad for alts on the near term. So I love the structure on this for the short. I just don't know if we're going to see continuation or not. This is a low volume node area right here, so it could bounce here. First take profit should be just above that area. Good morning, everybody. What's up, Brian? What's up, Wes? Lifestyle Media, Jewelry Affairs. Felipe, how you doing? When you find time, please check Amazon. I have puts, but not sure prices to the downside. We'll go to look at it right now because I don't want you to get... You have puts. Does that mean you're long puts or short puts? If you're long puts, depending on where you put them on and what strike you chose, you look okay right now. Now, longer term, like the trend for Amazon right now is unchanged on the year, but you are rejecting pretty close to year highs, which year highs in this case is also going to be your all-time high. and it's your high month close. Like there's a lot of confluence up there for the sell. That's why it's pulling back. You're in a 3-month range, so you're not trending. You're doing the opposite of trending. You are range bound. So the trade to take or make in this scenario would be to short puts if you want to own stock. Now, if you're just short, by being long puts, that means you are just short. You want it to roll over. It looks good. You're in good shape. Right? You're in good shape. The trend continuation, you need to break down all the way under August's low. That's right here. So until that happens, you do not have trend continuation, objectively speaking. The weekly looks good. You are currently testing the weekly 21 exponential moving average. If this holds as resistance, then I like your idea. Shit. I like your idea. Right? As long as when price is trading under the 21 exponential moving average, that means the longer term charts are not bearish, but they're not bullish either, right? So that's typically when you want to hold a short, when the chart is showing you that it is not currently bullish and the bulls do not currently have the momentum on their backs or against their backs. So you're in a good trade. I like it. As long as you're rejecting the yearly opening range, I would hold that short. But you're not trending, not yet. You got a lot of work to do before you can say, okay, now you're trending. So, but I like the position. If I was holding a put on Amazon above where near-term price is, then I would definitely just hang on to it. With the caveat that if it rejects going lower here, I would get out of that short. I would take my profits. Because if you reject going lower here, this is your 2025 yearly opening range. Sorry, I was pointing at the wrong line. This is the 2025 yearly opening range. As long as you're under this, you're bearish on the year, objectively speaking. So it's good to hold shorts when you're bearish on the year. Good trade, good trading. Now, if you reject down here and you start closing weeklies and dailies above the yearly opening range, then that means you're back to being up on the year, which means all short positions could be threatened. All right, but it looks good. It looks good. You could be at support, but only time will tell. I like your idea. Okay, so Bitcoin is looking to run up above the high first. Not what we wanted. We're not positioned. So Farcoin, can we take a long here on Farcoin? Yeah, we can, as long as we're trading above this price. As long as we're under it, then the long's not that great, right? I would rather it get down here for the long, because it would be just so much easier to position. I don't like what Volume Delta is saying. Volume Delta is saying that the downtrend is likely to continue on the intraday basis, right? You're trending down. The 30-second Volume Delta says it could be bullish, though. We could be seeing soak action happening. Those limit those limit buys could be soaking up those market sells, right? That's typically how people look at Delta. We don't necessarily need to look at Delta because we know that the heavy selling is done. Until the heavy selling comes back, which, when you see this kind of action, that means you've got heavy sell side and you don't want to be a buyer. We haven't had a heavy sell side for the last several sessions here. So we don't have heavy buying either. Not yet. But I loved yesterday's price action. I hated yesterday's price action, but I finally was able to catch her along here, and then it did run, but I woke up this morning and I had to close the trade. It was right back down to my entry. So I don't necessarily like it that it's trading sideways, and I don't love the long, but at the same time, if this is sell side exhaustion, we want to be long. I mean, that was a phenomenal move up, and I don't think those guys are gone. Big traders need time to build positions. So they buy, then retail sells it back down, then they buy again, and then retail sells it back down, and eventually the sell side gets exhausted, and then it spikes. So that's what we want to see happen here, but we want to catch it. So let's put a very small position on Farcoin long. It is trending down. It's a freaking dangerous trade, guys. So even on the 4 hour, it looks terrible for a long. I liked the long yesterday because we were checking that 50. And on the daily, you're bearish. You're full on in bearish mode. It's a bearish trend. Yeah, I mean, that would be a much better place to watch. Because if we were to trade down there and reject those lower prices, I would want to get long. What's up? Yeah, if we were able to like put in that kind of price action, I would like to get long. But we may have to go ahead and put on a very small position here, just to start us off, and then maybe add to the position if it starts to work out. But at least in this scenario, if we're wrong, we can get out with a very small loss. So we'll go as high as 20% on the stop loss for the first attempt here. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, but I'm using real money, and my account size is about 15K, so I am able to lose $150 to lose for 1%, 1.5%. That's what I'm typically aiming to lose. So when I take positions, I want to try to keep my losses to $30. That gives me 3 opportunities to take an intraday trade to get positioned and only lose $90 if I'm wrong all 3 trades. So I'm actually losing less than 1% of the total account's equity, because if I'm right, I'm going to make $300. So I'm typically looking to lose like 150 or make 300 for the day. Generally speaking, we win. We do occasionally lose, but we do a lot more winning than losing. And that's how we're profitable. But yeah, we'll see what this does. Like I said, if it stops me out, I'm okay with that. If we get down here and liquidate yesterday's low, and then we see absorption, then we want to be long. However, we are trending down, so we have to keep that in mind. So we're not going to take like a shitload of attempts on this because the trend is down. The only reason we're trying to get long Farcoin is because we think that the sellers are being exhausted right now. Now, only time will tell us if we're right or wrong with that scenario. Right? It's just a thesis. Thesis is the sellers aren't as aggressive down here, so there's a potential opportunity for a bounce. As long as the VIX and the yen is up, by getting long any risk assets, we are literally going against markets. Literally going against them. Now, with that being said, the yen is trending lower, as we did make. Let me make sure before I say that. Yeah, we did make fresh monthly lows. So this 2-day spike that we're seeing on the yen could ultimately be sold off, right? It could be a selling opportunity on the yen. And in that scenario, the VIX starts to trend, or, starts to go back lower, and the yen follows suit, then we want to be long risk assets. Yep. So we'll see what happens here. These 4 lines on my chart, oh, you can't even see them right here. These are just the last 4-hour candle. So price intraday, right? We're scalpers. We're looking to capitalize on each daily range. So on the daily chart, each candle's the whole day range. So clearly today you're bearish, right? But we need to look somewhere inside of this range to position ourselves. So the best way that I found over time to do that, click down to the 4-hour time frame, and then outline your open, high, low, close on the previous 4-hour candle, which would be this one. So we got the high, open, close, low. So we know that price has set this range from high to low as the 4-hour trading range. So when you go down into a smaller time frame, you can see how price respects those areas. Right? Look at that. I mean, that was an absolute perfect. And price already set these areas. So we know this is the range. So if we break down through here, we don't want to be holding longs because it's trending. We need it to break above and then hold above here. And then we could set higher ranges. But for right now, because we're in this range, this is our operating zone. Our area of operation. Our AO, baby. AO. If you had a short side bias based on the yen and the VIX, you would be looking to place a short here or here. Here or here. You would be on the right side of this trend, but you might be a little bit low. It's just, I've found over time, it's just the best way to mitigate risk. So that's what we're doing here. That's what those lines are. We want to see Fartcoin pop, and it would help us if Bitcoin pops. As long as we're trading above the weekly VWAP and the daily 21 exponential moving average, we have a bullish bias on Bitcoin. And you can see the AO on Bitcoin is already outlined. Now, I haven't outlined all 4 objective prices, but You can see the range that you're trading in. You're not trending at this point. So here's your day open. So the day range is bearish. So the longer you spend trading under this white line means that the bears have it. They have control of today's order flow. And right now they do still have it. So if I was looking to short Bitcoin, I would be looking to push shorts on here. DXY has been a bit more bearish than I wanted to see, like the idea of Dixie taking. Well, we know that the macro suits a bearish dollar, right, Wes? We know that. Rate cuts support a bearish dollar. So when the dollar was spiking, we knew that we wanted to be looking for an area to sell into that. Unfortunately, I did not get it. I can't catch them all. Can't catch them all. They're like, these charts are like Pokemon, man. Pokemons. Can't catch them all. 10 a.m. Jolts number might see a choppy open. I didn't even look at the calendar. Yep. Jolts in 10 minutes. ISM tomorrow. And then NFP on Friday. As that's the first Friday in October, so NFP. Okay, so the sellers front ran that range. They front ran the AO. That's never a good sign. See, my short isn't breaking down yet, which sucks. This thing has just been absolutely killed. Yeah, people are going to be looking for a short here. I mean, it's already broken down. But here's the thing, guys. This can be a trap. Traps exist on all time frames. This could be a trap. It doesn't look like it's a trap yet, but it could be a trap. If Bitcoin stays bearish today, then you're likely going to see this break down, and it won't be a trap at that point. It would be trend continuation. But you can clearly see this is your trend. This is consolidation. This consolidation would not fit a measured move from here. All of that does not count. This is where you would get a measured move from if you do break down. So basically, if you have a short side bias on Pingu, your measured move would give you a target of 0.025184 ish. And just a little bit lower than those lows. But that's what it looks like. And it looks like they're winning for right this minute. But here is the AO. And as long as we're trading above the AO, then nobody knows what we got yet. The bears they're in a good position. I'm not even gonna lie. You're under the August low down here. Your trend is continuing. You probably got many different indicators telling you that. So that would have been a buying op I didn't get it though. Hopefully the Bears are wrong here. They're front running the AO, so we want them to get smoked. Boink. And this thing right here, this MYX is literally failing to break down. It had a massive, massive move a long time ago, and the sellers did try to get it, but the buyers came right back. So here are your 3 upside liquidation points for bullish targets if you have a bullish bias on this. I do not have a bullish bias on it, but I would not be it's so there's no trend happening. It's just crazy price action. But the sellers, for whatever reason, just will not short this thing yet. I would love to see a breakdown and a confirmation of that through this indicator. Then I would look for shorts on it. Maybe leave it alone until you get that directional break. And unfortunately, I don't necessarily want to be a buyer up here because I know just how fast these things can shit the bed when the sellers show up. So who's ever in control of this? There is no news on it. There is zero news on it. So as long as there's no news, then you don't really have a motive to be a buyer. This could just be market manipulation by the person that owns the majority of the supply. So at any point when they dump that supply, this thing will get crushed. Okay, Farcoin getting beat up pretty bad here. We did get a nice little upside spike at the beginning of the market open, and then the seller showed up. So what do we do here? What do we do? Man, it looks so good for a short. It's just this daily 21 is right there. Yeah, I can't really, I can't have a bearish bias on it. But seeing that, just a lot of chop, maybe. That yen is up. It's still up. It's up on day highs. But the VIX is now heading towards day lows. But my VIX data is a little bit... Okay, here's the volatility index futures. We're at 1779. I don't know if this is the right contract. It looks like the right contract. Yeah, the VIX is at like the day open right now. Good morning, Paper Wiggleman. Hey, we haven't looked at Pingu for a while. Any idea for a long maybe? Yeah, it's the same thing as Fartcoin. Clearly the sellers have been in control of it. Actually, this thing has been very choppy. But you are trading under August's low. And as long as that is the case, the sellers have control of the asset and you are trending lower. Today, it looks like you're breaking down of a consolidation, a multi-day consolidation. You went into that consolidation from a down move, right? So you broke down below the 21 and had a nice downside expansion phase, and that carried downside continuation. This day was a selling opportunity. We would have taken that trade to the downside. If I was setting in the short right here, this would be where my short side entry would have been. If I would be in this short, I would not be closing it. This looks like a fresh breakdown from this move. So downside targets are down in here. And I see no reason to change that. None. So just for a trend following trading strategy, you would not be buying this. Now, for just, hey, it looks oversold, I want to buy it, then you can buy it. But I mean, I don't have any strategy that would tell me to be a buyer here. Then if I was looking at cumulative volume delta or something, or another indicator that suggests, because let's be clear, these indicators, especially oscillators, are always going to print divergence. They have to. Mathematically, they have to eventually diverge. Otherwise, the indicator wouldn't be an oscillator. It would be a trending indicator. It would be an average, like this. But since it's an oscillator, mathematically, it has to print divergences. And then when you get those divergences, sometimes people will buy them, or, you know, whatever the divergence signal is. But it doesn't always work. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. Right now, the trend is down. So the buyers literally need to prove that they have it, and they don't, or they haven't yet. Like, this was a good close. This was a good close. I would have wanted to see this candle's low held. It is for now. So, I mean, if you're going to see a reversal, like if you're trying to pin a reversal on this tail, like pin a tail on donkey, that's what you're trying to do. That's what retail usually does, right? They usually try to sell highs and they try to buy lows. That doesn't work, usually. Literally, that's what you're trying to do here. You're trying to call a reversal before you've gotten a reversal. So, could it happen? Of course. Of course it could. But the trend is you want to be looking to sell resistance levels on this. Same goes for Fartcoin. You know what I mean? We're trying to call a reversal. That's literally what we're doing. I'm not going to do it on two of them. You know what I mean? But as far as Pingu goes, it is in better shape than Fartcoin, as your yearly open is right there. You're not down. I don't know. Let's see which one is down the most on a percent scale, because that's the objective way. So Pingu is down 18% on the year. Fartcoin is down 36% on the year. So Pingu isn't as bad as Fartcoin, but it isn't strong. It isn't strong. It's weak. It's down on the year, and for the last 2 months you've been down, and this month you're trending. Now, you are still inside of July's candle. I get that, but you are right now trending lower. You're breaking down below August's low, and you're trying to trend lower. So you can see how the sellers, they are targeting much lower prices here on Pingu. They just haven't got the move yet. So this would be something that I would be interested in shorting, because it isn't as down as Fartcoin is. So there's meat on the bone, if you will, for that short side continuation. My concern is the sellers have dried up almost every time we've made a fresh low. They're not being able to get that push, but that's a yet case. It's just yet. They haven't done it yet. So the only way I could be a buyer on Pingu is if we're holding support above the August low. That's it. That's the only way. Right now, since we're under the August low, it's a downside trend continuation trade. We would absolutely be shorting this, not buying it. Absolutely. Because if this trend break, or if this consolidation break here on the smaller time frame, if this is a legit break, you are going to see this thing trend lower soon. Sooner rather than later. Now, if it holds sideways here in a range for a long time, like 2 or 3 days, then maybe I would think about buying it, because the sellers are not getting that downside break and push. But for right now, no, I would not buy it. Not today. Not right now, because you're just now breaking down. Right now, you're in the process of breaking down, which literally means people are going to be selling right there. And they did. And they did. So if you have a bearish bias on Pingu, this is where you'd be looking for shorts. Now, with that being said, you are trying to short something that is, well, no, it's not even oversold anymore. So this would be a setup. I wish I would have seen it before the stream started, but it is a level that I will continue to watch as the day goes on. Yeah, your 100 on the 30-minute is way up there. So I would probably rather short a bounce. If it fails to break down here today and it does get a spike, I would be looking to sell that spike. If here, it would have been a little bit more difficult short to take, because a case could have been made up here that the buyers exhausted the sellers. But you're just now breaking down. You're putting in a fresh breakdown here. I like it lower. Doesn't mean it'll go lower, but you can keep it on watch to see if it accumulates this range. But it looks like you're getting ready to break down. Yeah, we're getting ready to get stopped out of Fartcoin. We just took out the low on Fartcoin also. So this is our last zone for longs. So yeah, Bitcoin's getting that downside continuation. It doesn't look great. Like I said, the yen is up. Anytime the yen is up, I have a bad feeling about getting long. And another reason why I don't like getting long is today would simply be because of the damn watch list. The watch list looks... Oh, wait a minute. What is that? Uh-oh. We have a short here we could take on Chronos. Yeah, if Chronos rejects right here, I'm going to short it. Oof. I'm going to set a limit sell at 9773 on Chronos. piece of shit. Ugh. 19,754. Hang on a second. Yeah, I think I'll try it. Oh, I just got filled. Wait a minute, that's the wrong. Okay. Okay. We'll see what it does here, but if Bitcoin continues to roll over today, this one's up 4% on the day. So if it were to break down, now I don't like that reaction and the fact that we're right back up there. I don't like that. It could be looking to run the high of day. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to short chronos with me. That's an old weekly resistance. That is useless. Yeah, I like it. If it can reject yesterday's high, I like it lower. If it's trading above yesterday's high, then it's threatening a breakout, and we don't want to be holding shorts while the breakout is threatening. But if it can reject here, then I definitely want to be short. Not long. The Fartcoin trade isn't gotten stopped out yet, which is odd. But it was really close. Oh, it's just a matter of time. So Pingu just liquidated yesterday's low. So if it does that and then accumulates and just fails to break down for a couple of days, then I would be like, yeah, let's try to get long. Because then at least you could say the sellers are failing to get downside continuation. If you want to attempt a long now, you can, because there's not as much selling today as there was yesterday. Not yet. Yeah, the sellers were a lot harder on it yesterday than they are today. This would be a divergence, right? You're making fresh lower lows on price, but you're making higher lows on the oscillator. So you do have a divergence. But that's just it. It's an indicator. It's an indicator. It's a diverging signal that always happens. It has to happen, right? Because it's an oscillator. So at some point, no matter what price does, that indicator will diverge. That doesn't necessarily mean you should be buying it. But at the same time, people do take those signals. Like, you do have traders that like to take divergent signals. Because it's just a trade. It's just an area to put risk on to mitigate. So yeah. It's not as weak as Farcoin, and it's already spiking. But usually in downtrends, these spikes will get sold into. So usually you'll see those big bullish candles on those at those types of areas. That's just to pull in more liquidity. It's to invoke emotion, because everybody knows that everybody's watching that level, right? They all are. The people that already got long, they've just been stopped out. And then you got new people trying to buy there. That's why you get these big bullish reactions, because it's trying to lure people in. Hurry, jump in long, you're going to miss it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So they do. And then price just rolls back over and slowly goes back down and stops them out. Every now and then you will, though, catch a reversal. Every now and then. The yen is pushing on fresh highs. Fresh day highs. So, okay, so like this thing is not breaking down. I mean, it looks good, but cumulative volume delta is no longer confirming a trend here. That could mean that there is a big buyer soaking up the sells, because price is not breaking down. It's making fresh lows, but it's not breaking down. You're not seeing that expansion. Now, it could break down later on, but that's cope. That's cope by saying that. If it isn't breaking down, then there's a reason for that. Either the volume is super light, or there is someone soaking up the ask. And if someone is soaking up the ask, then this thing is probably going to spike. Yeah, when you're right on the sell side, this is what happens. Boom. And then this. That is not happening here. That is not happening here. So somebody's buying this. Now, those people could be wrong, unless they're the ones that own the majority of the supply. If they're the supply holder, then they won't be wrong, clearly. But if it's just a big buyer, they could still be wrong. But it is cope. I'm hoping it eventually breaks down. We'll see what it does. I got my stop situated, so if it does spike on which it looks like it's going to do, then I will just get out at break even. No point in losing money on it. Fartcoin not going down yet. Bitcoin holding that daily 21 exponential. So now anybody that got short here in the AO, their position will be threatened. That could give us a spike back up to last week's low, which is the area that we rejected, right? Price traded above that yesterday briefly and then closed under it. Today, you just made a higher high and then reversed. But today, in the context of yesterday, is just a pullback. Now, yesterday will be a bull trap if or when we take out yesterday's low. So big area here today, right? Lots of importance. Emotionally speaking, this is a very important area. If it holds, then that would be suggestive that this move is the right way. And we might be able to get some upside continuation from that. But if it does ultimately break down, then the sellers will be back in control. And they were in control for all of August. The first 3 weeks of September, the buyers had it, but it's just a dead cat bounce. And it's still range bound. So I'd love to see this range get resolved one way or the other. I really don't care which way. Obviously, I would much rather it go up because I do own Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter because I can make money either direction. Right now, you got a lot of people just trading options. They're basically selling puts. I don't have a September low. This is September's low, but it's so close to August's low. There's no point in putting it up there. But yeah, I mean, it looks like the range is trying to break down here. I can make the case for both sides of this trade. And that's usually not a good place to be. Yeah. All right, back over to Chronos real quick. It is trying to reject that level, but very choppy here. I do like that volume is picking up here. But if it goes up, that's just going to add fuel to the fire as those people get stopped. Yeah, we'll see what it does. Can you check AVL USDT? What are we not watching? We're not watching Bonk. Yeah, let's go look at AVL USDT. Okay, I don't see it on Binance. We talked about AVL earlier because it's up on the watch list. It's up 40%. It's got a 24-hour change, but it's only had 375,000 tokens traded on the Weeks platform. So it's not something that I would trade. It's a very low float asset. These are very dangerous because of fills. You can get filled very crappy. It looks bullish. It's clearly got bullish momentum. You ran the highs that were put in the other day. I mean, it's a very, very bullish candle. You're up 40-something%. So if you were looking to scout momentum on it, you would be waiting to buy the dips. You have not dipped in a long time. These are 5-minute candles. So it's been hours you've been trading sideways. So you just have to mark out your AO and then look for entries. So this would be a demand zone if it holds. But you're buying day highs. This is the day high, 25 cents. You're literally looking to be a buyer at 22 cents. So there's a 3-cent run there. But here's the demand candle, not up here. Right here is, if you got a fresh day high, that would be a 15% move. So you can be a buyer if you're scalping upside momentum. You do have it, or you did have it earlier, but they're not getting any continuation yet. Session volume profile. Very light volume nodes up there. Yeah, I mean, your sellers are trying to short right here, clearly, and then your buyers are buying swing lows. Which one will win? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. That's why we put out stop losses. But since it's up 40-something%, you got to give it to the bulls. It's trading way much heavier volume today than on average. So your scalpers are here. Your scalpers noticed it and they're not afraid to trade it. So they're trading it. The problem is there's just not many. Now, I don't know what the supply is on this thing on something like Binance or something. We can ask Grok what is the supply on ABL. So, $1 billion? It is not a low float. It's got a big float, $1 billion in the supply. I don't know what's the normal 24-hour volumes. It's got nothing. I mean, we can look at it ourselves. .6, 3.68, and this is on Bybit. 10 million, 22224144113. Oh, I mean, clearly, average daily volume is going to be about $3.5 million, give or take. You're trading 229 million today, so clearly, that's a massive amount of people trading it. That's why you've got a big spike. Now, with that being said, yeah, I mean, I would probably watch what happens if it tests the 100 on the 5-minute chart. It's been sideways for so long. Yeah, you've already tagged the 1 minute 200, which you typically do not do when the asset is strong. So when the asset is strong, when the asset is strong, you came in and you checked the 100. And that was it. There's a 100 check. You never got to the 200. You never got to the 200. And then it ripped. So that's what you would want to see, but you would have wanted to be getting involved down here. But down here, you probably wouldn't have got the alert, because at that point, you didn't have a lot of volume yet. You didn't have big moves yet. But so there was the first opportunity once the big volume came in, and they got it up to there. So nice big move there. But now, like, you've lost that strength. You've lost it. So now it's in full-on chop slot mode. So the only thing you can do is be a buyer on dips. You haven't gotten a dip yet. So there's really nothing you can do yet. You can watch it and see what happens when you get a spike low. Now, if you get a big ass candle, then you do not want to buy that. You don't want to buy that. You know what I mean? Shit. So yeah, let it push down and see if it can get into this area. If it can, then you can try to buy it, as long as it doesn't just blast right through it. If it blasts right through all your moving averages, you got to leave it alone, because the sellers could be, you know, they could have it. Okay, we just got stopped out of the fart coin long. Boom. So it looks like sellers are in control. That means Pingu's probably getting ready to rock and roll to the downside here. Yeah, Pingu would have been a nice scalp short too, but I just didn't have it. But we'll see what happens with our Chronos trade. My only concern with this is I think I got in with a way too small of a position. I've never traded this, or we did trade it once or twice a long time ago, but I don't remember what the correct position sizing is for it. But yeah, if everything else breaks down, maybe this does too. My downside target would just be like fresh lows. I wouldn't be expecting anything beyond this point down in here. So if you get a run down into like 18.9, that's where you want to take profits. And then leave a small piece on for any downside continuation that you may get. But this thing got really bullish when Trump announced that he was going to buy like $6 billion worth of this. Or some crazy, not him, but US CFTC unveils initiative to enable tokenized collateral with focus on stablecoins and derivatives market. Crypto.com CEO Dennis Silence on alleged hack as CRO plunges 10%. Trump media closes deal to buy 684 million CRO tokens. And he did that at 15 cents. So I don't think you're going to go much lower than 15 cents. You could, but I don't think you will. So like this short, I would only be taking it for like a scalp. I wouldn't be expecting it to go to zero or nothing like that. Trump media closed the deal to buy 684 million tokens. We don't know if they've already bought them or are they buying them slowly over time. We don't know. If they're going to buy them slowly over time, then this asset might be a buy under like 17, 18 cents. Maybe a buy here. Right? That's why it's only a scalp. We're only looking to scalp it because everything else is down today. It's the only thing that's up on the whole watch list. There is news on it, though. There is that bullish catalyst. I love shorting things that do not have that bullish catalyst. This one does have a bullish catalyst, so we have to be careful. Yeah, there's that move on Farcoin. So Farcoin clearly isn't done. It smoked yesterday's low. Now our AO is much bigger. When yesterday, when this price action was being put in, this was also a liquidity run. So it did liquidate and then it got the bullish spike. The fact that it's came all the way back down here and liquidated again, that's not really good. It's very choppy, right? Difficult to trade these when they're doing that. Even this still is not breaking down. It looks like they ain't going to be a wash. Or at least the morning session. Maybe we get something going on later. But like nothing's popping up on the watch list as far as something moving up extremely hard and strong. Everything is pretty much exactly where it was earlier. So your Annie USDT, it's up to 40%, but it's only got 43,000 tokens traded. Too small, man. AVL, 378,000 tokens traded. It's 37%. I mean, as far as your big strong movers, you're not seeing that today. Nothing's up crazy like 100%. We did get the Jolts news, but I don't think much happened. I mean, S&P's still choppy. It did ultimately reject the daily open, so there was a downside scalp we could have taken there. But it's not like super far away, you know what I mean? It's very choppy inside day. Here's your low of day. There's your high of day. Wait. No, I'm wrong. High of day is going to be one of these. Right there. That's your high of day. This is your low of day. So you're trading inside the daily range. Never fun. VIX gapped up, sold off, filled the gap, and it's bouncing. The fact that it's trading above yesterday's close tells us a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it's stronger today than it was yesterday. That is why Bitcoin is failing. Look at gold now. Fresh highs. No downside continuation yet, so yeah, very, very slow day. I think after that rejection, one would have to say something like, yeah, maybe the short would have been the best idea, but I can't short it down here. I just can't. We're nowhere near the day's high. But if it does break down later, you could see a pretty sizable move. It's not breaking down yet because there's a lot of people putting on positions here. They think it's going to go up. And your sellers think it's going to go down. So it's just going to take a while to chop through all this volume. So you could be right if you're a seller. You could be right if you're a buyer. If you're not stopped out, the only thing you can do is hold the position. What you do not want to do, though, today is to keep taking positions. If you get stopped out more than once or twice, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. Wait till tomorrow. Let the day's range get clarification. But looking at the yen, it's still up on highs. The VIX isn't making fresh lows. So my intraday bias would be to take the short. But I was looking up here, not down here. All right. I like it higher. My rules tell me that as long as you're trading above the daily 21 exponential, you want to be a buyer. But my bias, by looking at all the markets and everything, the way everything's acting, obviously, it looks like it wants to break lower. That will only happen once the buy side is exhausted. 10 a.m. Jolt's number up. Oh, the ETF. MSTR. Yeah, we ended up got out of MSTR because it literally broke down. Let's go look at it. See where it's at now. Yeah. See how August's low was acting as support? Once we broke that, we got out of our long. It literally tagged the 21 weekly exponential and rolled over. And then a fresh breakdown. This cleared out all the August longs. And you traded back up to August's low yesterday, and that's where the sellers hit it again. What was support will oftentimes be resistance. So as long as you're trading under August's low, then the sellers are in control. That is the trend right now. So if you get back above August's low, you could then maybe look to be like a put seller for a couple weeks under 292, but that's it. Like the way this looks right now, I would be wanting to put on a short. I'm not going to, because this thing doesn't trade very good as far as I'm concerned. Like the way we bought the long, and we had a hard time getting out of it up here because we got it down here and it said we were barely in the money up here, and we were way in the money. So I was unable to get out of it with a good profit because of that. But then when it got back down here, we just were like, we got to get out of it because this is our level. That's it. If we're back under that, then it's not doing what we want it to do. So I'm not going to take a short on this. But the fact that it was at August's lows when Bitcoin was moving up, I was very, very concerned about Bitcoin. Because MicroStrategy owns so much Bitcoin. Why is it trading on the lows while Bitcoin was trading up at September highs? But I mean, clearly we got that move now. Bitcoin broke down away from those September highs. Boom. That's why we shorted Bitcoin last week. Now that it's bouncing back up here, I honestly think this is probably just a liquidation run. But my rules tell me I can't be a seller just yet. I can be, but I would be on the wrong side of the near-term trend. But occasionally, I would take the short. You know what I mean? Seeing what MicroStrategy's doing today, I would probably be on the sell side of Bitcoin more than on the buy side. But rules are rules. So I have to wait for Bitcoin to actually break down, or I can just take the short if we get back up here and reject. But I can't short it down here because it's literally at support. I could try to short here. It could bounce up and stop me out and still be within the range. We don't want that. We want to get those shorts in at good areas. Midpoint of this 4-hour candle, it's just so close to support. There's not a trade to take here for me. But as long as the yen is up and the VIX is up, I would be leaning for today to resolve lower. Did Pingu break down? No. Fartcoin is done. Fartcoin's just, I mean, Pingu's at the low of day, so there's no trade on it either way. Kronos not breaking down. Kronos is up 4%. And whatever this is, not breaking down. Looks like volume is just dried up on this. To be fair, it hasn't really. It's still got heavy volumes. Yeah, it's still got heavier than average volumes today. What an absolute beautiful short up there. Just absolute perfection. S&P failing to break down. If that yen would pull off the highs, I would buy it. The yen is just way up, man. All the way up. Yeah, I mean, you just made a fresh high of day this hour on the yen. It could be it, though. That is a big spike of volume right there. It could be the end of the road for the yen. It's just a 2-day spike. The trend is down. Why is this on Gamma? The skews sucks, man. The skews are terrible. 467. Oh my God, no way. That's all the way down there. Never mind. Yeah, the end doesn't look great. I mean, it could be the end of the road for it. If it is, then Bitcoin might bounce. I'm gonna be so pissed if Fartcoin does ultimately go up, but I have a hard time buying it when it looks like that. Gosh, man. I don't want to miss this spike if it does move up. Heavy volumes, but that's regular because the 9:30 session comes in and then your heavy volumes come in after it. They haven't really been able to get anything going to the downside yet, have they? I mean, it could be seller exhaustion, but it's literally going against everything. I think the best way to trade Pingu today would be wait till the open, because what that'll do is that'll give you, you'll know, right, if it breaks down or not. You'll see that. And if it doesn't break down, like if the day ends up closing up in here, then at the Asian session open, one could buy it then. Or wait for, a couple hours to see if it makes a fresh low and then buy that low. Like for a liquidation break. You would be buying it in anticipation that this is going to be a bear trap. You know what I mean? Getting in right now, I think you're probably going to get stopped out. The problem is if it does cut loose, then it's not going to be a trap. It's going to be a fresh breakdown. But that choppy ass S&P, dude. Look at that. Looks like the sellers are done. Looks like the sellers are done. But that doesn't mean that Pingu is. This would be the place to buy it if you were going to buy it. It's that daily swing low. If they can't get downside continuation beyond that point, then it could be being soaked up. But it does look like a breakdown is on its way. I think it's gonna matter what Bitcoin does for the rest of the day. Yeah. Iren, IIREN. Absolutely. Let's go look at it. Irene. Effing Irene. I said that last time we looked at this. Yeah, I mean, it is trending higher. There's nothing to be done here. If you're long, keep holding it. It is at all-time highs and pushing. You are well above August's range high. You are well above July's high, so on and so forth. This thing has been trending for the last 5 months to the upside. It set a low in April with the rest of the markets. It looks good. If you have shares of this, keep holding them. There is no reason to get out of this yet. If you're up really good, I would suggest you take profits and then look to see if the buyers show back up on dips. You need to wait for a consolidation, though, before you try to buy the dip. You don't want to buy the first dip day. I mean, they did here, and it worked out for them, but I'm not in a position on this, so there's no position that I would put on it if I was going to be trading it. I'm not going to trade it. There's nothing else you can do with it. It is literally in the middle of trending higher. It's a great looking stock. Great looking stock. It's late in September also. You might see some profit taking happen for Q4. Because anybody that bought it at the open of the year, they are up nicely. You know what I mean? So be wary of that. Profit taking for Q4. So that way people can get their taxes in order. But I would hold it. As long as it keeps looking like this, I would not be getting out. Maybe I would see what would I make if I took profits on a midpoint check. I knew something looked odd about that. I was looking at it on log. Yeah, it looks way better off log. This would be about where I would want to set my stop loss if I was holding longs all year. Because if you lose the midpoint, then you could be looking for a deeper correction, and that's about where I would be done. So I would just put my trailing stop up there and just see what happens. Wait for next month to open, which is tomorrow. See if it sets a higher low. And if it does, then I wouldn't get out. I would just continue to hold it. More than likely, it's going to set a higher low. But I don't know what this is. Like, I have no idea what this thing is, what they do, but that's a good looking chart. There's nothing to do here. There's no new trade to take. You can't buy it now. You definitely don't want to be selling it yet either. You are in the daily res, of course, but it's just daily res. I don't think I would want to short it because of that. I mean, sellers will try to sell there. I don't know, obviously nobody knows if they'll be right or not until it rejects and rolls away from that level or what. But yeah, I mean, it's super bullish. It's a good looking chart. You got to be a buyer when it consolidates and finds support. You can't be a buyer when it's just reaching for the stars like that. Because you could end up being a buyer at the damn high. Like everybody that bought it last week. They bought it up at 49.30, and then at the end of the week they were like, I lost $7 per share on that. So there's just nothing to do here. It looks really good. It will more than likely pull back at some point. Vertically integrated data centers powered by 100% renewable energy. Founded in 2018 and headquartered in Sydney, it was formerly known as Iris Energy Limited until the name change in November 2024. The company's focus is on high-performance computing applications, including Bitcoin mining and AI cloud services, with facilities optimized for power-dense operations. Bitcoin mining operates 50 EH mining fleet, securing the Bitcoin network while leveraging low-cost renewable energy. Facilities are located in renewable-rich areas like British Columbia, Canada, and Texas. Their AI cloud services provide cloud computing with NVIDIA GPUs, currently 1,900 units, scaling to 10,900 by late 2025. Recent expansions include 2,400 new GPUs, $168 million investment for AI workloads, positioning IREN as an NVIDIA preferred partner. Their infrastructure to me is useless. 810 megawatts of operating data, or whatever MW stands for. Yeah, I'm not going to know that stuff because I'm not technically savvy like that. It's trading at $45.93, 380% return year to date, with a market cap in the large cap range, $10 billion to $200 billion category. Analysts' consensus moderate buy with a 12-month price target of $41.14. We're already over $41.14, right? Yeah, we're at 46. So it's outperforming. Projects 200 to 250 million annualized from AI cloud by year end. 25 revenue guidance at $501 million. Appointed Anthony Lewis as CFO in August. Closed a $550 million convertible note offering in June. Achieved mid-year 50 EHS mining target. So, I mean, it sounds like they're doing a good job, and the chart reflects that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not be a buyer up here. You are buying massively overbought market. Oh, shit. Massively overbought. This is the weekly chart. It's more overbought than it's ever been before by a large margin. It's a short squeeze. That's what it is. Let's see if that short squeeze is going to continue. Probably not. I'd say most of them are gone based on the fact that it's so overbought. To be fair, it's still got a 12% short float. 12% short float's not huge. Once you get over the 20% range, then you're huge. But it's still, this is going to be retail trying to short the top. Nothing major. The short squeeze could be done soon. Wait for it to pull back. Allow it to chop for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Then look to be a buyer at like weekly support. You know what I mean? You want to see it pull back. Then you want to see it hold support for a long time. Wherever it pulls back to. Then you can be a buyer at that range low support. While it's doing this, there's really nothing to do. Unfortunately. It's in the daily res right now. I mean, this thing is freaking rocking and rolling. I would not be a seller here. I updated one RSI on one chart and it literally did it to all my charts. But yeah, it's massively overbought. Massively overbought. But overbought can stay overbought way longer than you can stay solvent. So this thing could get to overbought levels of 100. You did drop out of the massively overbought levels on the daily, but it was bought up quick. So if you want to short it, you have to wait for that too, because it's likely going to run these highs. Now, if it puts in a lower high or the higher high that isn't that high, You know what I mean? If it's just slightly higher, then maybe you could take a shot at a short. But you typically want to see like a 3-drive topping formation or something like that first. All right. So you want to see something like this first. Higher high, but it's insignificant compared to that high. Same goes for this. Once you get that, then maybe look for the short. But right now, you can't do anything with this. Can't buy it, can't sell it, because it can reverse at any point, any time, any second. It's crazy that it's mostly focused on Bitcoin mining, and it's running this hard because Bitcoin isn't. You know what I mean? Bitcoin hasn't been running hard for months. It's been in a 3-month range. Now, to be fair, Bitcoin did put in 1, 2, 3, 4 months of upside continuation. Last month was the first month that we did get a pullback. So Bitcoin is consolidating these gains, which is awesome. That's why people are buying the dips. Yeah. They be buying dips. Right now you're just in the middle of the range. And we rejected last week's low. That's pretty much all we've done. If the sellers, if they are not right here, this thing's going to rock and roll potentially. Get back up into the 116s, 117s. But that yen being up like that has me a little bit concerned. But let me go see real quick to see like if the yen is leading today. Because if it's not leading, it could just be up based on dollar weakness. I want to see what's going on. No, it's legit. Wait, Aussie's even up 66%. That's a mixed signal. Well, Aussie's usually a risk on asset, whereas the yen is a risk off asset. The yen is up 60%, 0.62%, and the Aussie's up 0.65%. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Let's compare these two charts. Dailies. Not a lot. So Aussie got killed through here, and the yen did pretty good, but the yen didn't do like massively good. It didn't get killed as hard as the Aussie did. I mean, it didn't reflect that strength. And the Aussie regained the strength. So I guess they don't really trade inversely to one another. I forget what I was saying, but the fact that the yen is up 0.6% today, that means it ain't just dollar weakness that's giving the yen strength. You literally have people buying the yen. So whenever that's going on, I get concerned with risk on assets. So if the yen stays strong today, I'm going to be concerned with Bitcoin being up really big. But it's not. Yeah, Bitcoin's still a short as long as it's trading under that. Just for the daily range. Yeah. Pretty boring day. As the B short ain't gone anywhere, and neither has the Crow short. Hasn't gone anywhere. And neither is this. But to be fair, Bitcoin's doing the exact same garbage. Very choppy intraday range here. Bartcoin did put in a trending move lower. Just made a fresh daily low. Book of Meme is trading down on fresh day lows. Pingu just smoked that range low. So if Pingu gets downside continuation for the rest of the day, then this break might not be a trap. There's a lot of nothing burger out there, man. AVL is moving up, but I can't trade it. It's too light. Too light. What did we look at that on? Bybit? See? Boom. I told you, watch what happens when it tests the 100 on the 5 minute. That's what happened. There was your move. The buyers hit it. Bam. There it goes. It's got to get up here to make a fresh day high, though. We missed it. Wasn't paying attention to it. But that's exactly where I would have wanted to put on risk. So it's currently doing its thing. If you got long there, hold on to it. Actually, if you got long there, you should take profits, probably. I mean, that's a 10% move. Yeah, I would probably take profits. Jesus. Damn it. It's all good. Kronos, finally, are you going to move for us? Come on. I should have added to it. While it was chopping. I'd love to see this thing drop off the face of the planet. But I think the volume's dried up here. I think that's what's going on here. But this fresh spike might bring more people in, though, on AVL, because it did move up a little bit. It was only up 40%. It's up 47% now. Alpine is back up. Made $700 on Alpine over the weekend. Yeah, Alpine just made fresh highs. But it's not up big. Oh, it didn't just make them. It made them a little bit ago. See what this thing looks like real fast. Ugh, there's nothing out there. Disgusting. There's no bullish catalyst on this either. There's no news. Zero news. I can see why volume's building up here, but I don't like it. This thing has a really bad habit of faking people out. This is being manipulated more than likely. But it is putting in a 3-drive topping pattern here. However, when these things are being manipulated, they're usually not done until they're done. But one could arguably short it now because it has put in that 3-drive topping formation. But it's been chopping up here for so long that I don't think it would be done. If it's done, it should have already puked. And it did not. So they didn't dump the supply yet. You know when they dump the supply because it goes bye-bye quickly. Let's see how much of the value it gave back on that push lower. Not quite 30%. Yeah, get it. I love them fast guitars and drums. Bam, 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 bam. JUP/USD popped for a volume spike. I don't have that on mine, so let me see. I don't know when you wrote that. It could be way long time ago. Oh, but it's to the downside. Oh, it's not just volume. You got to see it. It's got to be moving too. It's got to be moving with the volume. So I probably wouldn't worry about volume spikes on downside pushes. If I'm like, when I want to set up a scanner, I would want to set it to catch the bullish move more than the bearish. So I would have a volume spike and it goes up like 10% or 15% on the spike of volume to confirm that at least the buyers are actually buying it up. On stuff like this, I don't know. I mean, it could break down, no doubt about it. Could break down. It's trying to break support right now, so that's why you got a spike of volume. We're trying to get downside continuation. Haven't gotten it yet. Look at this piece of garbage. This ain't gonna stop me. I don't even care at this point. I like to see Crow give it up. Give up that ghost. Does Ethereum have some setup to look at? Just curious. Let's go look to see if Ethereum is giving us a setup. It's down 2.3% today. Probably not. Yeah, there goes. I mean, it won't give me the short entry, dude. It just keeps getting front ran. I need a tag of the AO. I can't short it unless I get that. Yeah, Ethereum's pushing on fresh day lows. You smoked last week's shorts. This is still bearishly structured. Yeah, you're testing the 21 on the 4 hour, but there's nothing there. On the daily, you're already under the 21. So the daily chart to me would be a short. Now the weekly chart's okay. The weekly 21's all the way down here. So down here is where I'd be interested to be in a buyer on Ethereum. 36.42. That's moved up actually. Hang on, let me rephrase that. So August's open. August's open, I would be a buyer on Ethereum if we got down there. But up here, I would be a seller. As long as this moving average is above price, I want to be a seller at resistance. So we haven't made a new 4-hour candle yet, but let's just go back in time and look at where we would have gotten short or attempted to short. It was 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. We could have been a seller right here on Ethereum. That's 4-hour. It's not a supply level or anything, but yeah, we could have shorted that. But there's nothing to do now. We would have been taking profits through here. So I don't see a setup here myself. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be a buyer here just based on a 4-hour. The 4 hours testing the 50 and the 21. I get that. But that's it. Like, the daily's no good. The daily's a sell. Anytime the daily's a sell for me, I'm going to be looking for the sell. And remember, Ethereum took out September's open. So Bitcoin didn't. Oh, wait, sorry. The August low is what we were looking for on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's green on the month. Ethereum is bearish on the month. So Ethereum is a sell. Even on the daily, you're under the 50 on the daily RSI. Like, it's a sell. Until it gets to a massive support zone. Right now, daily support's at 38.73. So this would be the first level to watch if it breaks down below this support, right? So we'll have to watch this swing low down here. If it gets down there, it may stop going down here. I don't see a setup that I love on Ethereum. Not today. Maybe later on in the future, but not right now, not today. Like, I would have wanted to see Ethereum hold support right here, and it wouldn't have, it doesn't look good now. Yeah, Bitcoin looks like it's getting ready to go. But Bitcoin is still potentially at support. Risk markets are pulling back a little bit. Chrono's starting to roll over for us here. There goes Penguin. Yeah, this doesn't look like a trap to me anymore. Pingu looks like a full-on breakdown. Hang on 1 second. Where's Joby? Yeah, JUP's breaking down right now. Oh, it's not doing anything. If Joby can hold support at 1472, I'd be interested in buying that. This is good. This is consolidation. You see how it bounced off the midpoint? Does Joby have options? It does. Wow, and it's got 10-cent wide spreads on weeklies. Damn. Even the 2028 January 843 day strikes have. Yeah, I might do something like that later on. I'm gonna wait for it to settle into this range, and then find a build in a support. Once that happens, I'm gonna be looking to buy Joby. I need to get it up higher on the watch list. UPS still chopping. Baba, crazy. Yeah, this looks good for risk markets, man. Damn it, that's another thing. I don't know. So the measured move, I wasn't able to get it because I got it today, but I'm assuming it was about an 85-point move for the expected move. Now it's only a 75-point move, but I usually try to get those at the end of day, Friday or Saturday morning. So right now, the risk markets, you're just testing Friday's close. You're unchanged. Even though it's down right now, it's not down significantly. Friday's close right there. So you're just testing the unchanged part of the weekly range. We got NFPs this Friday. That'll be a big mover. A big mover. So, I mean, you're freaking putting in an expanding range in both directions. You just made a fresh daily high. Now you're making a fresh daily low. So that is more of a bearish signal intraday, but I don't know if you'll see continuation because we're not making fresh highs on the yen chart. It's actually pulling back off the highs. So I'd probably be a buyer here more than I would be looking to be a seller. This is your current weekly low right now, right? Because this is Monday's low. Today's only Tuesday, so that's your weekly low. The good news is I can always exit it if it doesn't end up being the weekly low. Alright, I'll put that in, see if it'll get to work for me. Alright, I guess we can get ready to wrap this up, but I don't really see a setup on Ethereum right now. King money, but if it keeps pulling back, it eventually will pull back into an area where we can look to buy it. I think right now we just have to let it go. Like Pingu, you just gotta let it go. You know what I mean? Good news is you don't have to keep trying to buy it today. Because it's breaking down and it's expanding right now. So this one would have been a great one to look for shorts today. I just didn't catch it in time. Yeah, Fartcoin's trending lower. There you go. We just had the wrong side of it, but it was trending that direction. So I said I didn't love the long. Not on something like that. You better fill me, you bastard. Don't you bounce and keep going without me. Of course it's not gonna give me a... We don't know how low they want to go. But Chronos is starting to rotate for us. That's good news. And then this thing, even though it did spike, it didn't really go anywhere. So that's good news. But I'm in this so low. It only has to go to here to get me out. You know what I mean? And I'll be done with this. Which is probably a good thing because volume's dried up on this. It hasn't gone anywhere from 9:30. Here's the 9:30 session candle open. So that's when your New York session fired off. You haven't really gone anywhere. You haven't gone down, that's for sure. So it's probably going to stop me out. Like I said, if it's not breaking down, someone could be soaking up the bid or the sells. So, yeah. It looks like it wants to stop me out. And I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with it. Too risky. But I do love the fact that it is completely reverse structure on the 5-minute chart. You have completely given back the bullish structure. So right now it's just whichever one gets exhausted. Now that we're making fresh lows on those other ones, that's good for alts to be weak. Dominance is pushing up, right? You want alts weak when dominance is pushing up. You want to see that weakness. And ABL is reversing now. So what happened to ABL? It couldn't make a fresh day high and keep going. It reversed. Oh, it hasn't reversed yet. It just couldn't get going. It couldn't make fresh highs, but it still looks okay. Be careful if you're trading this, please, because it has very thin liquidity. I cannot stress that enough. Thin liquidity can hurt you so badly on fills, on getting in and getting out of positions. It's best to just avoid these like the plague. If it had millions of tokens traded in a 24-hour period, we'd be looking at this. But since it's only got that little bit, little beats, gotta leave it alone. The other ones that are up are Annie, which it's only got 40. Well, here, I'll show you. It's only got, like, your top two are thousands, not millions. You want millions traded, not thousands. But even then, like, it's, I mean, 39% on the day is huge, but not in the crypto world, right? We've seen things go up 300-400% in a day. So whenever something's just up 39%, you're like, eh. But if the short squeeze can continue, then it'll keep going up. At least it does have hundreds of thousands and not just 45,000. But SQD is up. It's got millions. Not really up either, is it? I mean, up from where it was yesterday, I guess. I don't know what this is, SQD. But Alpine's back up there again. And then the rest of them are all shit, like very small. BUSDT. I'm in this short. It's still on the hot list. It's up 10%. 1.7 mil. So still thin liquidity. But yeah, all of your top movers are in the thousands. Uh-oh. What is this thing? It's $74 per coin. So this thing has actual value. Actual value. That's weird. Okay, so it's not all-time highs, but it's long-time highs. It's a constructive looking chart too. Rounding bottom and then expansion. That's a good looking chart. So many of these things are just barely trading. But there's a lot of them that are up. That one rejected this last 4-hour swing high. These things aren't doing anything, so I'm more than likely going to get out of them later on today. If they don't produce anything, I'll probably just bounce. ABL's not expanding yet, but I don't want to see it get back down below 222. It needs to hold the 100 again on a retest. If it doesn't, you might want to think about getting out of it. You want to see when they start going, you like to see them continue to go, right? You don't want to see them just go for 15 minutes and then give it back. When that happens, it's too choppy. Too choppy. Now dominance is spiking. Yeah. Yeah, Wes, what's up, Slopbag? How you doing, brother? Yes, I want to see. So basically, what you would set a scan up for is to catch a move, right? We want to catch the move while it's happening and not find it, 2 or 3 hours after the move happened. Because in that scenario, then we have to buy the pullbacks. You know what I mean? By setting up a scan, you're in a sense, once you start getting when you get a big spike like this on bigger volume, it's just a better signal. So that was still just a 6% move in 5 minutes. I want to see a 15% move in 5 minutes with a big spike of volume with it. So that it just gives us an opportunity to potentially jump on it and scalp the momentum as it's ripping, as momentum is currently happening. You know what I mean? Just looking for volume spikes will get you in trouble, because if you don't see a move confirmed with the volume, it could be anything. All right? It could be anything. So we're just trying to set up a scanner to where it will literally catch the move while it's happening. But unfortunately, with systems like Thinkorswim and TradingView, they're not the best scanners, right? They will run good scans. Just looking at a percentage change on the day is a good way to find the movers. But they already have volume gainers, percent change gainers, recent range gainers. But I want to set one up for crypto. This already scans for percent change. And it's set for 24 hours. So it's not on the day. It's a 24-hour change. But it doesn't matter. These will move as these numbers are changing. So if one of them fits the criteria I'm looking for, it will randomly pop up. It'll start moving its way up the list. You just have to open this and just keep it open. And then when you see a name progressing up through the list, that's one you want to jump on. Look for a small pullback, or buy a fresh 1 minute high, or some way to get into the trade, and then catch the momentum while it's happening. So the best way to do that is a volume spike and price spike. But I can see right now that's currently not really happening. So there's just not much happening in the crypto world today. See, let's go down in here, and then we can watch these. You see how these are changing? Where did B go? It just completely dropped off the list. Did it go up? No. You see how they're moving? Yeah, I'm not doing that. This scanner is doing that. We just have to find the one that's moving But we need one that's moving up big, you know what I mean? One that's actually moving up big. Yeah, B just moved up 0.5%. And we were so low that slight movement was enough to move it up. It moved it back up 10% on the day. See? Right here. So we were looking at it when it was much lower, and it just boom, 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 boom. It just moved up like 5-6 spaces. So this right here is it already built-in scanner that does a really good job of catching them when they're moving. When it's not doing anything, that literally means nothing is moving. You know what I mean? I like to see one randomly pop up. So the lowest one is up 12%. So if you got an asset that's already up 6% and then it gets a big spike in volume and then the candle goes up 10 or 15%, it's going to break its way in here. And then it'll start moving up. And that's the one we want to go in and tackle. Because things that are moving up can be moving up because either a short squeeze is currently happening, or some news dropped somewhere and people just started buying it up. But the reason we want to catch the ones that are moving up and not down is because you can only go down 100%. That's it. That's the max. You can only make that. Whereas an asset can go up unlimited. It can go up 1,000%. You know what I mean? It can keep going up forever. There's unlimited risk to the upside. They usually don't go up that much, but you get what I'm saying. So just by watching something like this right here is good enough to catch an aggressive mover. The Alpine just popped in here in the top 3 spot. So it literally means it's moving now. It's starting to move up again. Trying to. But it's already moved up quite a bit for the day. You know what I mean? But on that spike right there, I guarantee it got... So the people that are shorting this, they're probably wrong because it's not breaking down. It's a 5-minute chart. You liquidated the high of day at 8:50 a.m. It's 11:30 and you still haven't broken down below this candle's low. So it's literally accumulating. It doesn't mean it will keep doing that. But something like this is what I'm talking about. If it dips into support and holds, you can be a buyer and see if it starts to run. Or you can watch smaller time frame charts and be like, okay, I want to be a buyer when you make a fresh 1-minute high, but you need to do that when it's moving up. So like maybe not on the first 1-minute new high, maybe wait for a second 1-minute high and then buy. And then you could potentially catch, a 3 or a 4-minute move up. And when they're moving a lot, like just up to here would be a 2% gain on the account. If you caught a move just to there. So we just made a fresh 1-minute spike here. A fresh high. If it makes another fresh 1-minute high, we could potentially buy it and see if it keeps running. But it's in full-on continuation or full-on consolidation mode right here, right now. But yeah, I just wanted to set up a scanner to catch the momentum. So it's in the number 4 spot right now. A big spike would get people interested in it again. And people will be watching this. They do watch this stuff. I watch it all the time. When I'm not live, you know what I mean, and rambling. It does suck, though, that I have to hold my mouse over it. I wish I could pop this out and, like, put it over on another monitor or something. Because I don't have a good crypto scanner. I have stock scanners for penny stocks, and I have a million scanners for stocks that I very seldom ever even use anymore because the crypto market is just a fantastic way to generate income. The stock market is too, but for what we're doing here, a lot of people like to watch cryptos more than I have. Like, I have more crypto traders that follow me than stock traders. But right now, in the stock world, there's only a couple that would even be being momentum traded today. Like, here's the top one. And it's a $32 stock. It's up 49%. That's the biggest. This is the biggest stock right now. It's trading up 50%. So all this is a percent gain scan, hot list, percent change gainer or volume gainers. When you run volume gainers, you're going to see Nvidia, Tesla, a lot of those, but occasionally your low float, low cap stocks will make it onto that list. Right? Your low cap. Here's a low cap, but that's not a low float stock. Momentum penny scalpers, they're looking for sub $5 stocks. They want them to be up. Like, this one's up 39% on the day. But not really doing nothing now. So it's been a very choppy trade today, but if you just go to percent gainer, percent change, this is going to open up the ones that's moved the biggest on the day. Let me move this back over real quick. Yeah. But it's something similar, right? But this is all the stocks. All of them. These are the biggest movers on the day. The key is trying to catch them before or right as they're moving. So we would want to see the percent change going up and the volume increasing at the same time. And I just don't know how to do that on TradingView. I have a scanner set up for that on Thinkorswim, but not on TradingView. And since I'm looking at TradingView all the time, it would be nice. See how this did ultimately give us a fresh high 1 minute spike here. And then you did get 1, 2, 3 minutes of continuation. But it's not moving aggressive enough yet. Once all the volume comes in, it's not even a full-on 1% move yet. But when you catch them when they're extremely volatile, you can get 10 and like anywhere between 5 to 20% 1 minute candles. That's when you're going to see like crazy explosive movers. The problem is people always try to short those. You don't want to short them. You want to be on the buy side. Because shorting them will get you killed. Especially when they're freshly moving up with a lot of momentum and a lot of volume confirming the moves. But this thing is very choppy. Like 3 minutes, you went up solid. What did we do? We moved up 10% in 1 minute. Then 2 minutes later, you dropped 12%. Oh, that's what we want to avoid. But you never know when that's going to happen. That's why, yeah, it's dangerous. It's a very dangerous style of trading. I think it's better if people buy the accumulation at support or watch the 4-hour range. And just set and wait for your support zones to be tested and then look to get in. I think that is safer myself than trying to scalp out all that crazy momentum. This one right here, it didn't quite make it to the 100 again, but yeah, you're right now trading at the point of control doesn't necessarily mean anything. Man, this thing just, they're not going to roll over. Oh, I didn't want to add it. I just... Okay. We put B on the chart here. Where did it go? There it is. Yeah, this thing is disgusting. Not moving. DXY, look, it's basing out. Yeah. I took profits on the Amazon put. Thank you, dude. The Discord is there's a link in the description of all my videos that'll give you a link to my Patreon. You can also find my Patreon link on Twitter. And then it's the $25 a month. It's expensive, but it's less than $1. Less than $1 a day. It gives you 24-hour access to ask me questions directly. 24/7 access. I answer every question. Occasionally I post trade setups when I find them. I mainly did it for like donations. But yeah, if you wanted to get involved with that, it's through the Discord or through the Patreon. The tier tells you there's a tier structure inside of Patreon. The first tier gives you access to the weekly live streams. We do one weekly live stream for channel members every Sunday, like 10, 11 a.m. Sometimes the time changes. But yeah. Yeah, all right, I guess we'll wrap it up, guys. Unfortunately, nothing's doing anything. Yeah, nothing is moving. Everything is consolidating, choppy, because Bitcoin is. We did lose on Fartcoin. We lost $30 there. That's okay. And the other trades just aren't doing anything. Literally been going sideways for hours. So this is probably going to spike. If it can't break down It's either going to just keep trading sideways like this all day or spike. It is up on the... No, it isn't. It's actually down 0. So at one point it was up on the day because that's how I found it. Right? It was up pretty big. And it was moving up. But it isn't doing anything now. These were moving yesterday. Order, dude, order. So these were moving yesterday. Big move up yesterday, but it was midnight when it moved up. And then this one might be done. This one actually caught me. This one got caught on the weekend. Oh, Sunday noon. It had a big spike and then more up into 4 o'clock. It has a 25% move. It hasn't done anything since then, but I don't know that I would want to be a seller on this since it's not given back that move yet. So this could just still be considered chop solid consolidation because you're still trading inside this range. You're near the low edge of the range, but still in the range nonetheless. Divergence, not really. I mean, you do have slight divergence from that low to this low. So the sellers could be running dry here. I'm going to give it a little bit more time to see what it does. Hi-Fi. We were watching this one during the live stream this Sunday. We were actually looking for the short. And we missed it. I think we were watching it to get up to here for the short. And then it just, boom, we missed it. And that sucks because we were watching it. But we were waiting for it to get up to there so we could put the trade on, and then it just kind of formed a resistance here. And because I wasn't keeping my eyes on it, not paying attention to those lower closes, it went without us, and it was a severe went without us. That's a 43% move. You put on even a $10 position with 20x leverage, you're going to make hundreds of dollars on something like that. That's why I love cryptos, like especially these ones that are moving. You can flat make a lot of money with a very small position size. And then Sunday, so right here, $700 made on Alpine on Sunday. And I was just watching it at the last 4-hour swing high. It failed there. I jumped into the short and then it dumped. Boom, $700. So Sunday was a good day. And Sunday starts the week. So we're doing good this week. It's just today was freaking slow. You know what I mean? We'll see. Maybe we'll get something tomorrow or the next day. It'll be a little bit more active. I think if Bitcoin could find support here at the daily 21 exponential, I think if Bitcoin would start to rock and roll to the upside, that could get some cryptos moving strongly again. And the bad thing about it, unfortunately, is everyone's favorite alts are not moving. It's random alts that you've never heard of are the ones that are moving. But the total charts, like total 2, total 3s, don't look great. This is a fresh breakout up in here. We wanted to see upside continuation, and it just could not do it. So that doesn't look great. You lost the 21 here and you put in a downside. This is your downside expansion. So all of this is sideways chop. All of it. So people are still going to be looking to short. And then here's total 3 minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. That looks pretty bad. It doesn't look terrible, but I never like to see rejections at fresh highs. And that's what we're getting. Here's your other, same thing, right? It's the whole of the crypto world. I don't like, it looks like some of these things may be done. And the fact that you couple in dominance with that, dominance has been trading pretty much in the same area since August the 22nd. We've not been able to break down or break back to the upside. So just very slow trading out there right now. Every now and then, 1 or 2 random alts will spike, and those are the ones that provide opportunity. Unless we have a technical setup, which is what we've been looking for, but we really don't have a technical setup on anything. We may have a technical setup on Pingu going forward. Not today, but maybe tomorrow or the next day. Wait for it to build in another resistance level. But, I mean, this is a fresh breakdown. So this thing could trend lower pretty much all day. So I'm not looking for the trade on Pingu today. And Fartcoin, same. Not looking for it there either. As it could be a fresh breakdown too. So yeah, only time will tell. You could, in theory, look for shorts on Pingu and Fartcoin, but they would have to pull back all the way. And if they do that, they're not going to look great for the short any longer. But as long as they cannot trade above that, you could put in a short. So keep them on watch. We'll see what they do later on. Bonk is currently trending. They all pretty much look the same. They all have the same structure. STG's breaking down. Oh, one that I am watching is XMR. Very choppy thing here. Been very choppy for a long time. I think this one could put in a pretty significant move lower. If or when it starts to trend. So I am keeping an eye on this thing. Where's the mid at on that? There could be a setup on this right here. It doesn't, it chops a lot. It's been very choppy for a very long time. It's not for the faint of heart, and it definitely isn't something to overtrade. But I am keeping an eye on this. Since it can't go up, I'm assuming eventually it's going to run out of steam and go down. It's usually up. So the last 3 days, it's been up. But you can see where the sellers are hammering it. August open. So just keep this on watch. Because this may be a short setup. But for whatever reason, this thing has been bullish all year long. I really don't care why. You know what I mean? It's just a trade for me. That's all I care about doing to these things. Just trade them. So it's not quite up to August's open. It's been getting hit before it made it to August's open. But it's up on the day still. So this one would be similar to Chronos. Alpine just got hammered. Boom. So if we could get a midpoint spike to Alpine, I'd probably short it. Come on, bitch. Give us a setup. Come on. Come on back up. Come on. Come on, get me. 6, 8, 9. Six, 8, 9. Setting a limit sell for 6, 8, 9. That's roughly midpoint of this candle. Target. Six, 8, 9 is right here. It may not come back, but shorting it down here is risky. But it may be done already. See, that's what I'm talking about. But I noticed it just too fast. Too late. But we'll see what happens if it can spike up. Just give me a midpoint check of that range. And stop going up. That would be beautiful. Big volumes too. Yeah. Come on, dude. You're not going to do that, are you? You're not even going to try? It's too risky to sell it here. Because this is a buying area. You're not far enough away from the 200 to sell it. I mean, for it to reverse in your face. So you gotta catch it when it spikes up again. The problem is where, right? Where's it going to go? It might not even go down. I mean, it's still in the context of pushing up. It's still up on the day. But barely. I was just getting ready to get off. And it caught my eye. I just, in the corner of my eye, I seen the percent change just start dropping. This number right here, it was up at like 4 or something, and then it just started boom, 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 dumping. So this is literally all I watch, just that. And when I see massive changes happening, I jump on it. We're here for momentum. When you're moving full point percents in seconds, I want to be involved in that. It's probably too late. Fuck. All right, never mind. I can't short it into support. I just can't do it. Well, I tried. Come on, man. Go up first. Yeah, see, it's down 1%. And I just showed you that image and it was up 1%. Now it's down 1.38%. If we could have got filled up here, we could have made a quick 5% and been boom, boom. Huge, huge sell side happening here. That was quick. See, that's what you got to worry about when you're buying crypto. That 1 minute, 1 minute, boom, boom, no good. What happened to my? I deleted my day open. It would be nice if that would happen to this. Or this. But it's happening to this. When it gets too extended from them averages, you gotta be careful, right? But later on, maybe it'll spike up. So if you're watching it, don't chase it. Wait for it. If it goes without you, you just gotta let it go without you. If it comes up into the averages, you want to see it just trade just above them. And then it, boom. And then that's when you can attack it. It would be better if it did that at an objective price level, but there isn't any higher time frame objective price levels up there. There is one. It's this current. That was your daily high, and it was the daily high for a significant amount of time. So this Monday's high. Because that's Tuesday's open. So boom. So if it could trade back up to Monday's high and reject, I would be willing to put risk on there. Yeah, it's pretty close to where my limit is. 60.89 is where I set the limit, so. Dude, it doesn't even look like it can go back up. Some people would short that. I mean, that's shorting way down. That's not your daily low, is it? It is. That's your daily low right there. Come on up. Hurry up. Let's go. If it smokes the daily low and then goes back up in there, it'd be dangerous to short it. Because I was looking to short it if it's done. And if it's done, it's going to be an aggressive sell side move. This happened on the same day. Yeah. That was a day high. Here, let's just look at the days. Yeah, it could be over. There's your 3 drive top. But if it goes back into that sideways crap, get out of it. It's just not even coming back. I would hate to short it this low. Yeah, I'm not going to. All right. I'm going to continue to watch this, but I got to get something to eat. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys trade. Oh, wait, hang on. Thoughts on you? What is you? Is you? Unity? It's at monthly resistance, and it rejected monthly resistance. We looked at this once before. I would want to see if it can build in support above $34. If it can build in support above $34, then I might be interested in it. But right here, right now, I wouldn't be interested in it. It's pulling back. So you need to see it pull back and then build in support. This is earnings, so ignore that. But if it would have done something like this, then I could have been a buyer in this area. So let it do that again, pull back, and then trade sideways for a few days. Earnings in November. Yeah. That's what I would do on it. There was your spike, but not what I was looking for. There you go. Come on back. Come on back. Let's go. Shake them out. Shake them out. Let's go. You got to go up higher than that. You got to go up way higher than that, bro. $687. $687. This is going to be a 4-hour demand zone right here. But the demand isn't going to be shorted until a retest. Because it's just been made. So if you look at it on the large time frame, people are going to want to see a breakdown and then look for the next 4-hour candle to test that. Not this candle. But this candle just opened. But anybody that shorted this demand zone got smoked. Boom. But this is a 3-drive topping formation now. So now it looks good for a potential short. It didn't look good for a short a day ago. Yeah, it's probably done. This thing's going without us. It's not going to come back. Look at that wick. Didn't even get there. Fresh day low incoming. Aggressive. There wasn't no volume in these things over here. Big volume now. All the way back to 11 o'clock. Nothing. That's actually a pretty good reaction off of that. So momentum scalpers just taking it off of 21. And that was a fresh low too. So those kind of scalpers. I actually thought we were going to see something here. Oof. Oh yeah, if this thing gets going, it's probably gone. Low volume node here. That's why it bounced the first time. Let's go. Volatility. Do I ever trade futures? Yeah, I trade ES futures. I'm trading futures right now. These are futures. I trade oil futures, gold futures, ES futures. I don't trade like soybean, cotton, orange juice, beef, pork bellies. I don't trade those. I'll trade ES futures, oil futures, gold futures, crypto futures. Yeah. Yeah, I like trading spot price action, which is what you're looking at here. This is a perpetual contract. Futures. That's mainly what I trade. But I also trade options. I trade everything, really. I might get on a kick where like a week I trade a lot of options on stocks or, here and there. I haven't really been trading penny stocks lately because there's just a lot of volatility in the crypto market, and every day almost there's been, like last week, a couple weeks ago, there was like every day for like 3 weeks in a row we seen 100% gainers. It was crazy. Like, that's when you got that much volatility, you can basically choose the asset to trade. There's really no point in focusing on anything else. But now things are starting to slow down a little bit in the crypto world. So I like to trade whatever's moving. Wherever the volatility is, that's where I want to go. But if like the setup on oil, if I hadn't never saw that stupid news, I would have still been in that short. I wish I wouldn't have seen it because we were just taking the trade based on technicals. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys trade safe, trade smart, and as always, happy trading, everybody.